versus Virginia, a U.S. law case. The case came about because Richard Loving, a white man of Irish and English descent, and Mildred Jeter, a woman of mixed African American and Native American descent. They lived in Virginia and traveled to Washington, D.C. to get married on June 2nd, 1958. It was 2 a.m. on July 11, 1958, just 5 weeks after their marriage, when the police entered their bedroom. In a rush. According to the state law, they violated Virginia's Racial Integrity Act. It was a crime for them to be married. Richard spent a night in jail before being released on a $1,000 bond. Mildred, however, was not allowed a bond. She spent 3 nights alone in a small woman's cell that only fit one. On January 1959, in the Virginia State Court, after the couple pled guilty, the judge gave them a choice: leave Virginia for 25 years or go to prison. Richard and Mildred had to leave behind their family and friends. The Loving attempt to make a life in Washington, D.C., but they never felt at home. They missed the country living off Virginia and never adapted to city life. As they were not allowed to return together, they would take precautions not to be seen together in Virginia. By this time, the Lovings lived secretly together in Virginia. The Lovings then appealed the case to the U.S. Supreme Court, which heard an oral argument on April 10, 1967. The case was overturned in a unanimous court by Chief Justice Earl Warren, reversing the Lovings' convictions. Warren's opinion also mentioned the freedom to marry as one of the basic civil rights of man. The Lovings moved back to Virginia, where they lived happily together with their 3 children. The tragedy was the timing, because it was against the law to have an interracial marriage. Also, the struggles faced for Richard and Mildred Loving. Also, all the interracial couples that were arrested for being married any time before 1967. The triumph was now they were free to be married, no matter the race. Another triumph in the Loving versus Virginia case came to affect other cases. The Supreme Court ruling overturned the Lovings' conviction, and overturning laws banned interracial marriage in 15 other states. Justice Anthony Kennedy cited the law's case in his opinion on a Supreme Court case, which legalized gay marriage across the United States. June 12th, the anniversary of the Loving versus Virginia decision, is now celebrated each year as Loving Day, a holiday celebrating multiracial families.